A successful CEO and single father wakes up next to his trusted assistant after a company gala with no memory of the night before. When an anonymous complaint threatens both their careers, they must uncover the truth about what really happened and confront feelings they've been hiding for years. Will they risk everything for a chance at real love, or will the corporate world tear them apart? Keep watching to find out. If you love intense drama, hidden emotions, and stories that feel real, subscribe and stay with us. Before we continue, let us know where in the world you're watching from. We love seeing how far our stories reach. William opened his eyes to blinding sunlight and a splitting headache. He turned his head on the pillow. Hazel, his executive assistant, lay beside him wearing only his white dress shirt. Her black silk-fitted short gown was draped over a chair near the window, his suit jacket on the floor, her heels by the door. His phone buzzed. 17 missed calls, dozens of messages. He reached for it, saw photos he didn't remember taking. Hazel stirred, opened her eyes, looked at him. Neither spoke. Neither remembered. Hazel sat up quickly, pulling the shirt tighter. She scanned the bedroom, floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, everything spotless except the trail of clothing from door to bed. William's penthouse. She'd been here dozens of times for late-night strategy sessions, emergency calls about failing deals, but never like this. William scrolled through his phone, jaw tightening. "What is it?" Hazel asked, voice quieter than intended. He turned the screen toward her. A photo from the gala. His arm around her waist, her head tilted toward his shoulder, both laughing. She looked happy. He looked relaxed, almost carefree, different from the office. "I don't remember this," she said. "Neither do I." William ran both hands through his hair. He was still in wrinkled dress pants, his white undershirt untucked. The gala had celebrated a billion-dollar acquisition that took 18 months to close. Everyone had been drinking. Champagne, whiskey, wine. He remembered speeches, applause, his VP standing at the bar making jokes about how William never knew how to relax. He remembered Hazel in that black silk-fitted short gown that made half the room turn when she walked in. After that, everything blurred. William had built his life on control, every decision measured, every risk calculated. He'd started his tech company 9 years ago with nothing but a laptop and a business plan written in a coffee shop. Back then, he'd been married. His wife left when their daughter Lily was only 2. She said he worked too much, cared too much about money, didn't have time for real life. The truth was simpler. He'd been poor, struggling, and she hadn't wanted to wait. So she walked out, left him with a toddler and a failing startup. He'd made it work, hired a nanny, worked 20-hour days, built the company from nothing. Now it was worth more than he'd imagined. But Lily had grown up watching her father disappear into conference rooms and business trips. She was 7 now, smart, funny, stubborn like him, and she barely saw him most weeks. That's where Hazel had become more than an assistant. She'd started 2 years ago, hired to manage his schedule and keep his chaotic life organized. Somewhere along the way, she'd become essential. When William had back-to-back meetings and couldn't leave, Hazel would drive to Lily's school and pick her up. She'd sit with her in the lobby, helping with homework until William could break free. Lily adored her, called her Miss Hazel at first, then just Hazel, and recently had started calling her my friend Hazel when talking to other kids. William had tried not to think about what that meant, about how much he relied on her, about how his daughter's face lit up when Hazel walked into a room, about how he felt the same way. Hazel stood, still holding the shirt closed. She picked up her black silk-fitted short gown, checking for damage. It was fine, expensive, elegant, the kind she'd saved months to buy because she knew the gala would be full of investors who judged everything. "I need to check my phone," she said. It was on the nightstand. She grabbed it, saw notifications filling the screen. Then, near the bottom, a name that made her stomach drop. Diane from HR. She opened the thread. 3 texts, all within the last hour. "Hazel, please call me as soon as you can. This is urgent. We need to talk before you come into the office Monday. Her hands started shaking. She looked at William, who stood by the window staring out at the city. Sunlight cut across his face, showing exhaustion, tension in his shoulders. "William," she said. He turned. "HR is texting me. Says it's urgent." Before he could respond, his phone rang. He glanced at the screen, answered. "Yeah?" Hazel watched his expression shift, confusion, then anger, then something colder. He listened for almost a minute. "I'll handle it," he said, and hung up. "What happened?" "Someone filed a complaint. Anonymous. Sent it to HR and the board. Says there's an inappropriate relationship between us. They attached video from last night." The room felt smaller. Hazel sat on the bed's edge. Who would do that? "I don't know, but now it's real." William's phone buzzed again. He read it, handed it to Hazel. An email from the board's chairman marked urgent. Subject line, "Emergency meeting required. Ethical conduct inquiry." "This isn't just gossip," Hazel said. "This is my career. I should go. I need to get home, figure out what to say." William stepped toward her. "Wait." "For what?" "William, this is bad. If they think we crossed a line, I'm done. You understand that? I'm the assistant. You're the CEO. No one's going to believe this was mutual. They're going to think I—" She stopped, but the words hung there anyway. "They're going to think I slept my way up." "That's not what happened." "We don't even know what happened," Hazel shot back. "We don't remember." He moved closer. "Then we figure it out. We find out what really happened. We don't run." Hazel shook her head. "You don't get it. Running might be the only smart move. If I leave now, say I was drunk and made a mistake, maybe that's enough." William's phone buzzed. A text from his nanny. "Lily keeps asking when you're coming home. She wants to show you her art project." He looked at the message, felt familiar guilt pressing down. He'd promised Lily he'd be home by 10 last night. Missed it again. Hazel saw the text over his shoulder. "You should go. She needs you." "So do you." The words came out before he could stop them. Hazel looked up, surprised. For a moment, neither spoke. The space between them felt charged. Finally, Hazel stepped back. "I can't do this. I can't be the reason you lose everything. I can't be the reason Lily loses her father because you're too distracted trying to protect me." "You're not the reason for anything. If something happened last night, we were both there." "But only one of us will pay for it." She was right. He knew it. The CEO might get a warning, but Hazel would be finished. No references, no future in the industry. "We stay," William said. "We figure out what happened. We face this together." Hazel looked at him for a long time. Then she picked up her phone, opened the HR messages, started typing. "Okay, but if this goes bad, you don't protect me. You protect Lily. Promise me." William nodded, even though he had no intention of keeping that promise. By Monday morning, the video had spread through the entire company. William sat in his office watching the internal message board light up. Someone had posted a clip from the gala, 30 seconds of him and Hazel on the dance floor, her hand on his shoulder, his arm around her waist, both laughing at something no one else could hear. The timestamp showed 11:47, less than an hour before they'd left together. The comments were brutal. "So this is how you get promoted at this company. Guess we know why she's always in his office. CEO using his power. Classic." Hazel had called in sick. William didn't blame her. He tried calling twice that morning, but both times went to voicemail. His door opened without a knock. Derek Hayes walked in, holding coffee and wearing carefully practiced concern. "Rough morning," Derek said, settling into the chair across from William's desk, uninvited. "What do you want?" "Just checking in. Heard about the complaint. Wanted to make sure you're handling it." "I'm handling it." Derek took a sip of coffee, let the silence stretch. He'd been with the company almost as long as William, brought in as vice president 3 years ago. He was smart, efficient, ruthless when needed. William had respected that once. Now he just found it exhausting. "Board's pretty concerned," Derek said. "You know how they get about optics, especially with the acquisition just closing. Last thing we need is bad press about the CEO sleeping with his assistant." I didn't sleep with her. Derek raised an eyebrow. That's not what the video suggests. The video shows us dancing and leaving together at 2 in the morning. Come on, William. I'm not trying to make this harder, but you need to get ahead of it. Make a statement. Distance yourself before this gets worse. William leaned back, studied Derek carefully. Something was off. Too helpful, too interested, like he was enjoying this. Who filed the complaint? Anonymous. Could be anyone. And who posted the video? Does it matter? It's out there now. William's phone buzzed, a text from building security. Sir, you asked me to pull the lobby footage from Saturday night. I have it ready when you want to review. He'd requested it first thing that morning. Derek didn't need to know that. I need to take this, William said, standing. Derek stayed seated. The board wants to meet with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. I'd prepare a statement, something that makes it clear this was a mistake, that she's being transferred or let go. She's not being let go. Derek finally stood. Then you might be. Your call. He left. William grabbed his phone and headed to security. The supervisor had footage queued up on 3 monitors. William watched himself and Hazel walk through the front doors at 2:13 a.m. They weren't stumbling. They were talking. His hand was on the small of her back, guiding her toward the elevator. She was smiling. In the elevator, they stood close, but not touching. Hazel leaned against the wall, said something that made William laugh. He reached out, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. The gesture was gentle, familiar, not the action of a boss and employee. The elevator opened on the penthouse floor. They walked down the hallway. At his door, William fumbled with his keys. Hazel took them from him, unlocked the door, handed them back. They went inside. The door closed. No cameras inside the penthouse. No way to know what happened after. William thanked the supervisor and went back upstairs. He tried Hazel again. This time she answered on the 4th ring. "Hi," she said. Her voice sounded raw, like she'd been crying. "Are you okay?" "Not really. I'm sorry. I should have protected you better. Made sure this didn't get out. It's not your fault. We were both there. Choices we don't remember." Hazel went quiet. "I've been going through my phone trying to figure out what happened. I found something." "What?" "A voice message in my recordings app. I must have started recording at some point. I don't remember doing it, but it's there. Do you want to hear it?" William felt his chest tighten. "Yeah." There was rustling as Hazel pulled up the file. Then her voice came through, distant and slightly slurred, but unmistakably hers. "I don't know why I'm recording this. Maybe so I remember tomorrow." William's inside getting us water. We're on his balcony and the city looks so beautiful and I need to tell someone. I'm in love with him. I have been for months, maybe longer, and I know that's stupid. I know he's my boss and this is wrong and I should quit. But I can't because when I'm with him, I feel like I matter. Like I'm not just the person who schedules his meetings. He listens when I talk. He asks about my life. He remembers things. Like last month when my mom was sick, he sent flowers. He didn't have to. And tonight when we were dancing, he looked at me like I was the only person in the room. And I think maybe he feels it too. The recording cut off. William sat in silence, phone pressed to his ear, trying to breathe. "There's more," Hazel said quietly. "I found a note in my purse, handwritten, your handwriting." "What does it say?" She read it. "Hazel, I don't know how to tell you this sober, but drunk me apparently has no filter. You're not just my assistant. You haven't been for a long time. I think about you constantly. When you walk into a room, everything else stops. When you smile at Lily, I imagine what it would be like if this was real, if we were real. I know I can't say this tomorrow. I know I'll wake up and go back to being your boss, and you'll go back to being professional, and we'll pretend tonight never happened. But I needed you to know just once. I'm in love with you." William felt something crack open in his chest. He remembered writing it, not clearly, but enough. Remembered sitting on the balcony, Hazel standing at the railing looking out at the city, thinking that if he didn't tell her the truth right then, he never would. "Do you remember the balcony?" Hazel asked. "Yeah, some of it." We talked for hours about your ex-wife, about Lily, about why you work so much. You told me you were scared. Scared of what? Of being happy, of letting yourself want something that wasn't work or Lily, of failing again. He did remember that. Remembered standing there with whiskey, telling Hazel things he'd never told anyone. About how his wife leaving had broken something in him. About how he'd built the company not just to succeed, but to prove he was worth staying for. And Hazel had listened. Then she'd said, "You're enough for me." That's when he'd kissed her. Not drunk and sloppy, a real kiss, slow and deliberate, and full of everything he'd been holding back for 2 years. "We didn't sleep together," Hazel said. "I remember that now. We came inside. We kept talking. We laid down on your bed because we were tired, but we didn't want to stop talking. And we fell asleep. That's all." William exhaled. So this whole thing, the complaint, the video, the board meeting, it's all because we kissed and people assume the worst. People or one person? You think someone did this on purpose? Derek was in your office this morning pushing you to fire me. He seemed too prepared. You think he filed the complaint? I think he wants your job, and this is a good way to weaken you. So I'm collateral damage. You're not damage, you're... He stopped himself. Hazel finished it. I'm what, William? Your assistant? Your friend? The woman you kissed and then pretended it never happened? It's not like that. Then what is it like? William didn't have an answer, because if this was real, everything that came next would be harder. His office door opened. Diane from HR with 2 board members. They looked serious. "We need to talk," Diane said. William told Hazel he'd call her back and hung up. The meeting lasted 2 hours. They asked everything. When the relationship started, whether it was consensual, whether he'd used his position to pressure her. William answered honestly. Told them about the gala, the balcony, the kiss. Told them nothing physical happened beyond that. Told them Hazel was the best employee he'd ever had. But he could see it in their faces. They didn't believe him. Or they believed him but didn't care because the optics were bad. One board member, an older woman named Catherine, leaned forward. "We're not here to punish anyone, but we need to protect the company. Ms. Wells will be offered 2 options. Transfer to our Denver office as regional coordinator, or a generous severance package if she chooses to resign." William felt anger rise. "She didn't do anything wrong." "Neither did you," Catherine said. "But perception matters, and right now the perception is that a CEO engaged in a relationship with a subordinate." "And what about me?" "You're the CEO. You built this company. We're not asking you to leave, but we are asking you to make better choices going forward." William wanted to argue, but he knew it wouldn't matter. The decision was already made. That night, William went home to Lily. She was waiting in the living room, her art project spread across the coffee table, a construction paper collage of their family, just the 2 of them, and in the corner, carefully glued on, a 3rd figure with yellow hair and a blue dress. "Who's that?" William asked, though he already knew. "That's Hazel. She's part of our family, too." William knelt next to his daughter, felt something break inside. "Lily, I need to tell you something. Hazel might not be around as much anymore. She got a new job." Lily's face fell. "She's leaving?" "Not leaving, just busy." "Did you make her mad?" "No, baby, nothing like that." "Then why is she going away?" William didn't know how to explain that the world doesn't care about what's fair. "Sometimes grown-ups have to make hard choices," he said finally. Lily stared at him. "I heard Clara talking on the phone. She said people are saying bad things about you." William's stomach dropped. "What kind of things?" "I don't know. She stopped when she saw me, but she sounded worried." He pulled Lily into a hug, held her tight. "Don't listen to what people say. I'm fine. We're fine." But even as he said it, he knew it wasn't true. Tuesday morning, Hazel called. She sounded calm. Too calm. "I'm resigning," she said. "Hazel, don't." "It's already done. I sent the email 10 minutes ago, effective immediately." William stood, walked to the window. "You don't have to do this." Yes, I do. If I stay, this doesn't end. More investigations, more gossip, more damage. At least this way, I leave on my terms. What about us? Hazel was quiet. There is no us, William. There can't be. Not like this. Not when everything started because I worked for you. People will always assume the worst. I would never think that. Maybe not now, but eventually. When things get hard, you'll remember I was your employee first, and it'll poison everything. William pressed his forehead against the glass. So we just walk away? Pretend the last 2 years didn't mean anything? No, Hazel said, voice cracking. We walk away because they meant everything, because I love you too much to watch you destroy your career, because Lily needs her father more than I need to be right. Hazel, I have to go. Security's here to walk me out. Company policy. The line went dead. The first week without Hazel felt like living underwater. Everything moved slower, sounded muffled, required twice as much effort. William went through the motions, meetings, calls, planning sessions, but none of it felt real. His new assistant was efficient but impersonal. She didn't know he took his coffee black after lunch or that he needed 20 minutes of silence before board presentations. She didn't ask about Lily. Lily noticed immediately. "Where's Hazel?" she asked the first day. "She got a new job, remember? When is she coming back?" "She's not coming back, baby." Lily had stared at him, eyes filling with tears, then ran to her room. He'd heard her crying but hadn't known what to say. By the third day, Lily had stopped asking. She just got quieter, drew pictures of Hazel and taped them to her bedroom wall. William called Hazel that night at 11, after Lily was asleep. She answered on the second ring. "Hi," she said. "Hi." They didn't say anything for a moment, just breathed together, 300 miles apart. "How are you?" William asked finally. "I don't know. Unemployed, trying to figure out what comes next. Lily's not doing well. She keeps asking for you." Hazel's voice cracked. "I miss her too. She made you something, a bracelet with beads that spell your name. She wants to mail it to you. Give me your address and I'll send you mine." They talked for an hour about nothing important, about everything important. When they finally hung up, William felt like he could breathe again. It became a routine. Every night at 11 they talked, sometimes for 20 minutes, sometimes until 2 in the morning. They never discussed what it meant, but it was the only thing keeping William sane. At work, things were deteriorating. Derek had started positioning himself as the logical successor. 2 weeks after Hazel left, he walked into William's office with a proposal for a major acquisition. "It's aggressive," Derek said, spreading papers across William's desk. "But the board's been asking for bold moves." William read through it, saw the risks immediately. The target company was overvalued, their technology outdated. It would cost $200 million and likely fail within a year. "No," William said. "No? It's a bad deal. The numbers don't work." "The numbers are fine. You're just not thinking clearly." William stood. "Get out of my office." Derek gathered his papers slowly. At the door, he turned back. "The board's losing confidence in you. Everyone sees it. You've been distracted since she left. They're starting to wonder if you're still the right person to lead this company." "Let them wonder." Derek smiled. "I will." The next day, Derek went around William directly to the board with his acquisition proposal. 3 members supported it. Catherine called William personally. "We need to talk about leadership," she said. William knew what that meant. Derek was making his move. But then, something unexpected happened. Derek pushed the deal through over William's objections. The acquisition closed 3 months after Hazel left, and within 6 weeks, it collapsed exactly the way William had predicted. The target company's financials had been manipulated, their CEO under federal investigation. The company lost $180 million in a single quarter. The board demanded answers. Derek tried to deflect, but the paper trail was clear. He'd ignored red flags, suppressed concerns, rushed the deal to look decisive. Then, someone leaked an email. From Derek to an anonymous account, dated the morning after the gala. Subject line: CEO problem. The body was brief. I have video of Reed and his assistant from last night's event, enough to create serious doubt about his judgment. Will attach to anonymous complaint Monday morning. Let HR do the rest. The board fired Derek the same day. Catherine called William into a private meeting. We owe you an apology. We should have trusted your judgment. William nodded but didn't feel vindicated, just tired. I want to step down, he said. Catherine blinked. What? Not leave the company, but step down as CEO. Move into chairman of the board. Something with less day-to-day responsibility. Because of Derek? Because I've been doing this for 9 years, and I've missed most of Lily's childhood. Because I want a life that isn't just conference rooms. Catherine studied him carefully. This is about the assistant, isn't it? Her name is Hazel, and yes, it's about her. Where is she now? Portland, working for a startup, director of operations. She's doing well. Catherine leaned back. You love her? It wasn't a question. William didn't answer. If you step down, Catherine said, what happens to the company? You promote someone who wants this job more than I do, and I stay involved enough to make sure we don't make stupid mistakes. Catherine was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay, we'll start the transition, but William, make sure she's worth it. She is. That night, William called Hazel at 11 like always, but this time he had something to tell her. I'm stepping down. Moving to chairman. Less travel, less stress, more time with Lily. Hazel was quiet. That's good. You deserve that. I'm moving to Portland. The silence stretched longer. William. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not showing up expecting you to drop everything. I just want to be in the same city. I want Lily to see you more than twice a month. I want to take you to dinner without driving 3 hours. I want a chance at something real. What if it doesn't work? Hazel asked, voice small. Then it doesn't work, but at least we'll know. At least we tried. Hazel didn't answer right away. William could hear her breathing. When? She asked finally. 2 months, soon as the transition's done. Okay. Okay? Yeah. Okay. 8 months after the gala, William stood in the Portland airport with Lily's hand in his and 2 suitcases at his feet. Lily was practically vibrating with excitement, scanning the crowd. Do you see her? Lily asked for the 5th time. Not yet, baby. Then he did. Hazel was walking toward them through the terminal, wearing jeans and a sweater and the biggest smile he'd seen in months. Lily saw her at the same moment and broke free, running full speed. Hazel! Hazel dropped to her knees and caught Lily in a hug, lifting her off the ground, spinning her in a circle. Lily was laughing, talking too fast, showing Hazel the bracelet she was wearing, the one that matched the one Lily had mailed 3 months ago. William walked over slowly, giving them their moment. When Hazel finally set Lily down and stood up, she was crying. Hi, she said. Hi. They stood there, 8 months of phone calls and longing hanging between them. Lily grabbed both their hands and pulled them together. Can we go now? I want to see where we're going to live. Hazel looked at William. He looked back at her. We found a place near the waterfront, William said. 3 bedrooms, 1 for Lily, 1 for me, and 1 for an office or guest room. Whatever you want. Hazel wiped her eyes. You're really doing this? I really am. What if people talk? William took her hand. I didn't give up anything. I chose what matters. Lily, you, a life I actually want to live. Lily tugged on Hazel's other hand. Are you going to live with us? Hazel looked down at her, then back at William. I don't know yet, sweetie. Your dad and I need to figure some things out first. But you'll visit a lot, right? Every single day if you want me to. Lily grinned. I want you to. They walked out of the airport together, Lily between them, chattering about her new school and the art class she'd signed up for. William caught Hazel's eye over Lily's head. She smiled at him, tentative, hopeful, real. Outside, the Portland sky was overcast, but the air smelled like rain and coffee and possibility. William loaded the suitcases into Hazel's car while Lily climbed into the back seat. Before he got in, Hazel touched his arm. "Are you scared?" she asked quietly. William thought about it, thought about everything he'd walked away from, everything he was risking. "Terrified," he said. "Me too." "Good. Means it matters." Hazel leaned up and kissed him. Just a quick press of lips, but it felt like coming home. In the back seat, Lily made a gagging sound. "Gross!" They both laughed. William slid into the passenger seat. Hazel got behind the wheel, and they pulled away from the curb. Lily leaned forward between the front seats, pointing out buildings. Hazel answered patiently, her hand resting on the center console where William could reach it. He did. She laced her fingers through his, squeezed once, kept driving. This wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning. Messy and uncertain and complicated. But it was theirs, built on honesty instead of secrets, on choice instead of obligation, on love that had survived the worst assumptions and come out stronger. Lily fell asleep 20 minutes into the drive, head against the window, one hand clutching the bracelet. Hazel glanced at her in the rearview mirror, then at William. "This is really happening," she said. William squeezed her hand. "Yeah. It really is." The city spread out ahead of them, unfamiliar but full of promise. William didn't know what the next chapter would look like, didn't know if they'd make it work or fall apart, didn't know if Lily would adjust, or if the company would thrive without him, or if Hazel's career would take her somewhere he couldn't follow. But for the first time in years, he wasn't afraid of not knowing. He was just ready to find out.